Tonight, the president sees troubling signs for the economy.
Serious signs that the economy is weakening.
According to the latest figures, thousands of jobs lost. I'm Katie Couric. Also tonight, remember what they did at the State of the Union? They applauded the president's crackdown on earmarks. But how many of their own pet projects did they fund? We'll follow the money. And Steve Hartman gets just a little off the top.
Oh, don't worry about it.
And he's very grateful.
This is the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric.
Good evening, everyone. One by one, the numbers are pointing to an economic slowdown, and today the numbers came from the Labor Department. They show the unemployment rate actually fell a bit as workers left the labor force, some perhaps giving up on finding a job. But here's the really troubling number. The economy lost jobs for the first time in 52 months. Here's Anthony Mason.
For the sputtering economy, January's job losses are an ominous road sign.
It's very unusual for the economy to lose jobs. It only happens during recession. So the fact that we lost jobs is very symbolic. It suggests that the economy is in recession.
The economy did add service jobs and jobs in the retail sector, but that growth was offset by more job losses in manufacturing and construction last month. President Bush has avoided uttering the R word, but today he used his strongest language yet.
There are certainly some troubling signs. There's serious signs that the economy is weakening, and we got to do something about it.
The trend line is alarming. Since October, when the economy created 140,000 jobs, employers have been cutting back, leading to the 17,000 job losses last month. At Atlas Tool outside Chicago, Zachary Mottel says his business came to a screeching halt in November.
It was just like the train hit the wall. We stopped.
Now the recession talk has workers like Tim Zarbach worried.
Yeah, it sure does.
How come?
I've got two kids at home. One's in college. One's going to be going to college in 2 years.
But Mottel and many small business owners could be facing hard choices.
We don't want to lay people off. We don't want to lay the new guys we just hired off. Care for their families. But if it slows down, you got to make tough decisions.
And when workers worry about their jobs, they cut back on spending. Then sales fall. And Katie, that's how the economy ends up in a downward spiral.
Meanwhile, Anthony, there's another big business story today, and that's the fact that Microsoft is making a play for Yahoo.
Yeah, this is Microsoft and Yahoo trying to gang up on Google, which has become the internet search engine bully nobody can beat. Not Yahoo, whose profits have been sliding. Yahoo just announced up to 1,000 job cuts, about 7% of its workforce. And it's been falling further and further behind Google, which now owns 77% of the world's internet search market. Yahoo has just 16%. That online ad market is worth $40 billion, and Microsoft wants a bigger piece of it. This $44 billion offer would be the biggest tech deal ever. It would give Microsoft and Yahoo together well over 1 billion monthly users and maybe give them a fighting chance against Google. Katie?
Well, the plot thickens at least. Anthony, thank you. Also tonight in the CBS News Money Watch, record profits by America's largest oil company. As oil prices soared to new highs last year, ExxonMobil earned more than $40 billion. That's the largest annual profit ever for an American corporation and 3% more than last year. Turning to Iraq now, over the years, there's been so much violence there. We thought nothing could shock us, but this did. It began with bombings today at outdoor markets that killed at least 91 people and wounded more than 160. Then we found out how they were carried out. Jeff Glor has more about a sickening new tactic by the terrorists.
The bombs in today's horrific attacks were strapped to women with Down syndrome and detonated by remote control.
The terrible events really do underline the absolute bankruptcy and brutality of the enemy.
It's a growing insurgent trend, recruiting women to kill, made possible, critics say, in part because of what the Iraqi government is doing. At checkpoints in Iraq, women are expected to search women, and men search men. But police women are consistently being forced off the job. When U.S. General Dave Phillips asked the Iraqis why, he was told,
"Here in Iraq, the men take care of the women, and the women are not to be out on the streets in these dangerous positions."
2 months ago, the government even issued an order stripping all policewomen of their weapons.
What happens if you don't surrender your weapon?
They will stop paying us and they will fine us.
An order that was quietly reversed after 3 women spoke to CBS News. Unfortunately, it did not happen in time to prevent today's attacks.
Under the American military's watch, more than 1,000 police women graduated. Since the Iraqis took over, the number is 0. Jeff Glore, CBS News, Baghdad.
Back in this country, we turn once again to the presidential campaign. John McCain is heading into Super Tuesday as the frontrunner, but also now as a target of GOP conservatives. Here's our senior political correspondent, Jeff Greenfield.
John McCain may be the Republican candidate to beat, but in the last 24 hours, significant opposition has emerged on the political right. This morning, former Pennsylvania Senator Rick Santorum, a hero among social conservatives, lined up with Mitt Romney.
If you're a Republican in the broadest sense, there is only one place to go right now, and that's Mitt Romney.
Joining talk show heavyweight Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity flatly declared McCain outside the conservative mainstream.
He continually, on a regular basis, aligns himself to the left Democratic side of issues.
And as for author columnist Ann Coulter,
if he's our candidate, then Hillary's going to be our girl, Sean, because she's more conservative than he is.
And on editorial pages and columns on websites, there's a freewheeling argument underway. Do we join or fight? But why so much resistance to a candidate who is pro-life, pro-gun, with an 80% plus conservative voting record?
There's a long list on which issues have separated conservatives from John McCain.
Radio talk show host Hugh Hewitt, who's backing Romney, says on too many core issues McCain is wrong for the right. Opposing drilling in the Arctic, opposing the Bush tax cuts in years back, compromising with Democrats on judges.
I want to give John McCain his due. He's not for turning. He doesn't change his mind on issues.
Others say the problem is almost personal. Jim Garrity of the National Review campaign spot.
He really tries to portray his opponents as being not just wrong, but unreasonable and mean-spirited, and as if there's something morally deficient about them. And that conservatives don't take well to that.
Pro-McCain conservatives say that he needs to reassure the right on issues like taxes, judges, immigration, a possible running mate. His foes are looking to California as the battleground where Romney needs to form a united conservative force that will derail that Straight Talk Express. Katie?
So, Jeff, on Super Tuesday, we really may discover who is winning the heart and soul of the Republican Party.
Yeah, especially if Romney can get the Huckabee voters to stop voting for Mike Huckabee and join him to stop McCain. I think that's going to be a critical thing to watch Tuesday night.
All right, should be interesting. Jeff Greenfield, thank you, Jeff. Meanwhile, another dose of star power for Barack Obama. His campaign announced today that Oprah Winfrey and Caroline Kennedy will appear this weekend in Southern California with Obama's wife, Michelle. And what a difference a day makes. There was a chill in the air today for the Democratic candidates after that brief thaw last night. Here's our CBS News Campaign 08 notebook. There may have been hugs and smiles last night as Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama debated one-on-one for the first time. But today, Obama was back on the attack, once again criticizing Clinton for her 2002 vote that authorized the use of military force in Iraq.
It's important because it speaks to the judgment that is going to be applied in future conflicts and how either of us would operate as commander-in-chief.
But after all the campaign bitterness, could Clinton and Obama wind up on the same ticket? A Clinton aide told our Jim Axelrod, don't rule it out as long as she's at the top of the ticket. The Obama campaign said, forget it. He's running for president, not vice president. In other news now, a safety recall. Evenflo is recalling about 1 million Discovery infant car seats. They were manufactured between April 2005 and last month. Tests show the seats could become separated from their base in serious side impact collisions. Driving was dangerous today in parts of the nation's midsection hit by a huge winter storm. It stretched from Texas to the Great Lakes, clogging roads and tying up air travel. In Michigan, hundreds of schools were closed. Snow also piled up in Chicago before the storm moved into the Northeast. There is much more CBS News ahead, including Assignment America. Steve Hartman visits a barber like no other in a demonstration of sheer courage. But up next, hey, big spenders, when the president declared war on congressional earmarks, some of the loudest cheers came from some of the worst offenders. At the State of the Union address on Monday, President Bush drew applause when he declared war on those congressional pet projects known as earmarks. So far this fiscal year, Congress has pushed through more than 11,000 of them, costing taxpayers $15 billion. So who was that doing all the clapping for the president's crackdown? Cheryl Atkinson goes to the videotape as we follow the money.
When President Bush announced a crackdown on congressional earmarks this week, he got a standing ovation from both parties.
If these items are truly worth funding, Congress should debate them in the open and hold a public vote.
One observer called it prom night for earmark reform.
Earmarks are grants of your tax dollars without the normal public review, often given to pet projects by members of Congress in near secrecy. They add up to billions of dollars, and critics say are ripe for fraud and abuse by some.
Congress is full of big earmark spenders, so why were so many of them applauding the idea of cutting earmarks? Let's take a closer look at some of the enthusiastic clappers. Democrat Dianne Feinstein is acting happy, though she's hardly been shy about earmarks. Hers total an estimated $364 million this year. What about this group of applauding Republicans? Roy Blunt is a top earmarker in the House, around $40 million this year. Congressman Jerry Lewis, under FBI investigation related to his earmarking practices, tallied roughly $136 million, including money to build a decorative arch in a neighborhood where his wife owns a home. Senator Ted Stevens, also under investigation, once earmarked $200 million tax dollars for a so-called bridge to nowhere in Alaska. This year, he topped $500 million. And well, he may be applauding earmark reform, but he's one of the first to sit back down. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi didn't even pretend to applaud. She's got $87 million in earmarks under her belt this year.
Both Democrats and Republicans have taken beatings on earmarks, but at the same time, they've also gotten praised when they brought earmarks home to their districts that people in their districts like.
The people's trust in their government is undermined by congressional earmarks.
If all of this was prom night for earmark reform, Congressman Jeff Flake would have to be the prom king. He's led an anti-earmark crusade in Congress. His total earmarks? 0. On this night, he just seemed happy to have others join the dance. Cheryl Atkinson, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Now a follow-up to the unforgettable story Byron Pitts brought us last night about Marine Sergeant Carmela Rodriguez. The 29-year-old Iraq War veteran died of melanoma after it was misdiagnosed repeatedly by the military. The response we received online was overwhelming, including more than 500 comments on our website and scores of emails. One viewer wrote, "We as Americans have a responsibility to do something about this. If not, we are as guilty as the military." And another wrote, "As a mother of an Army soldier, I am saddened and disgusted by this story. Most of all, I am outraged that he was not given a military funeral that the family had to pay." To find out how to make your voice heard on this issue, go to cbsnews.com and click on CBS Evening News. When we come back, hackers break into government computers. Not even the Secretary of Defense is immune. The U.S. government is under attack. It's not a bomb or missile attack, but a sophisticated army of foreign hackers breaking into government computers. And President Bush is asking Congress for billions of dollars to stop it. Here's Bob Orr.
Computer systems vital to national defense are under a growing assault from internet hackers, cyber terrorists, and foreign spies looking to steal secrets and disrupt government operations.
All around the country, there are literally thousands of attacks every day.
Computer networks at Secretary Michael Chertoff's Department of Homeland Security have been compromised. So have computers at the Departments of State and Commerce. Hackers have even breached systems at the Pentagon, infiltrating the email of Defense Secretary Robert Gates.
U.S. officials have traced many of the attacks to hackers inside the Chinese government.
This book talks about the advantages that China can obtain.
James Mulvenin, an expert in computer tactics, says this Chinese military manual shows that internet attacks are part of a strategy to probe for weaknesses that could be exploited in future conflicts.
And the Chinese military in particular perceives the computer network attack offers it a unique capability that they could use against foes like the United States.
In response, the U.S. now is implementing a classified plan aimed at detecting and preventing internet attacks. CBS News has learned the president wants $6 billion just to get started.
We're really looking to see whether we can have a game changer, really move the level of protection to a much more robust basis.
So far, foreign hackers have not crashed any critical systems, but it's unclear how much information has been stolen. Compromised secrets that could be used against us. Bob Orr, CBS News, Washington.
In medical news, the FDA said today there's more evidence of a possible link between the anti-smoking drug Chantix and serious psychiatric problems. The agency says it's received reports of 37 suicides and more than 400 episodes of suicidal behavior in connection with the drug. The FDA is advising patients who take Chantix to tell their doctor if they have any history of mental illness. To sports now. 2 days before the Super Bowl, the New England Patriots cheating scandal is back in the news. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell today defended his decision to destroy the videotapes taken by a Patriots employee as he spied on New York Jets coaches during a game back in September. Pennsylvania Senator Arlen Specter is hinting the Senate might investigate, but Goodell said destroying the tapes was the right thing to do. Coming up next, Steve Hartman's close shave at the barbershop. Finally tonight, Steve Hartman needed a haircut, so he went to the barber. But not just any barber, or it wouldn't be Assignment America.
When customers first walk into Jim's Barber Shop in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and awaken this sleeping legend, Jim says he usually has no idea who they are, or even if they are.
Is there somebody there?
It's the first sign.
Come on in.
That Jim's eyesight ain't what it used to be.
Don't forget the hair on the ears. Huh?
Here's the second sign.
I can't even see your ears.
Fact is, 64-year-old Jim Beist is legally blind.
I don't know how he does it. He's amazing.
Jim's been a barber for 40 years, but a blind one for just the past couple. A combination of cataracts, diabetes, and detached retinas have made this his view of the world.
It's amazing he hasn't shaved off a lobe. Even more amazing, the number of people who trust that he won't. Jim still has dozens of regular customers. In fact, part of the reason he's able to do this is because he's memorized most of these heads. He also goes by feel.
Got a lot of hair in his ears.
And gut.
It's instinct.
Still, it should come as no surprise that Jim doesn't get a whole lot of new customers.
If you're sitting there and you watch me cut somebody's hair, that scares people out.
He says it's hard to find people with that kind of courage. Or stupidity.
You got a good head of hair. I like digging into this.
Only because hair grows back.
It seems like there's a lot of hair falling down.
Oh, don't worry about it.
And I have decent medical. I let Jim take a stab at it. Figuratively, I hoped.
Now, I'll let you be the judge as to exactly how well he did, but I've got to say that I've had much worse haircuts, most of them done by my mother.
And I have to say, oh, hi, Mom, that your hair looks good, actually. I think he did a good job. Any nicks, like little spots on your ear?
Yeah, he cut it a little too short here, and then he went over here, cut it short to match, and then he kept going back and forth for a while. But other than that, I'm happy.
Well, and you're a very brave person. Meanwhile, tell us about next week's story.
Okay. Next week. He's an artist drawn to hospitals. Why Mark Gilbert thinks these images will help doctors see their patients in a whole new light. If you have a story you think we should cover, please go to cbsnews.com and click on Assignment America. If it's a good one, you can bet I'll tell it.
Okay, Steve, thank you. That is the CBS Evening News for tonight. I'm Katie Couric in New York. Thank you for watching this week. I'll see you again on Monday. Until then, have a great weekend. Good night.